What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian, and today we're talking premium tech. I covered budget tech in my last video, so it kind of made sense to do premium tech in the next one. And the first thing we're going to be talking about is the Creator Micro by WorkLouder. So WorkLouder basically markets themselves as making macro pads and keyboards for creative individuals, and their products pretty much reflect that. So what we're looking at here is essentially a macro pad with 12 low-profile mechanical switches on it, as well as a wheel and a knob. All of the functions of these things are configurable through the VIA configurator, which is just an open source program to adjust the macros on these boards. And all of the keys have per key RGB on them, as well as the sides of the board. So pretty much everything about this board is customizable. The base of it is made of this polyacrylic, polycarbonate, like see-through material, so the RGB really shows through. And of course, when you're looking at this board, the branding just really stands out. It looks very different from anything you'd really expect. Also, this board looks and feels great. It's made of metal and, like I said, the polyacrylic carbonate kind of base plate. And then the bottom of it is this metal shiny thing that kind of puts it at an angle so you can mount it on your desk just fine. I haven't found a ton of use for this board, if I'm being honest. I actually really use it only for editing videos, and the biggest thing I use it for is cutting clips. So I assigned one macro to cut the clip, delete the front half, and cut a clip and delete the back half. Those are pretty much the two major functionalities I found for this board. And then I have the wheel control the sound or the volume on my computer. I do want to knock a couple points off of WorkLouder here. It feels like for such a premium product, this board is like $130 and it's just a macro pad. They didn't include a USB-C cable in the box. I actually thought I was missing it at first. I went to their website, but it does in fact say on the listing at the very bottom, it doesn't include a USB-C cable, which just feels cheap for this price point. BenQ actually sent out this reading lamp a few months ago, and I've basically been using it as an accent light in my office ever since. They market it as a reading lamp, but in my opinion, it's more used as like an accent light around your space. And it works in that way because it has this really cool scissor design that just makes it unique and kind of makes it stand out. So you can articulate it on a couple of different points if you want to adjust the height or however the style of it to your exact needs. And then the base of it is this really massive circle, so it can kind of account for the weird shapes and angles that this light takes on. The lamp does come in a few different colors. You got the gray, pink, and blue options, but of course I went with the minimal metal gray looking style. The lamp is really heavy. It feels really premium. Of course, you're not moving it around that much, but it does feel great when you're actually using it. To actually use this lamp, you turn it on with the touch capacitive like half circle on the top of it. You just tap that, turns the light on or off. And then you can actually adjust the color temperature and the brightness using the secondary knob on top of the light. And you spin that left or right to either reduce or increase the brightness or change the color temperature, cooler or warmer. You just press it in to change what mode you're in. The light plugs in using a normal wall socket, but you do have to use BenQ's adapter that they include with the light, which feels kind of weird. It uses that like 5-volt like circular plug that you used to use on like laptops back in like 2010. I don't really know why you have to use this adapter for a more premium looking and feeling product, but it's not really that big of a deal. The adapter is just kind of chunky, so keep that in mind. Analog by Ugmonk is something you've probably seen all over the internet. It's all over Instagram. They're always posting about it. All your favorite tech YouTubers have probably made videos about it, but in my case, it kind of changed the way that I do productivity around my office, so I thought I should include it. Now, before anybody gets into the comments and starts typing, yes, this whole system can probably be replicated just using like a pack of $1 note cards from the store, but that's not the point of this video. We're talking premium products, and this with its full walnut construction definitely fits the bill. This is handcrafted in Pennsylvania by local woodcrafters, and you just can't really beat that in my opinion. And the way that the system works is there's 3 different cards. There's today, next, and someday. Each of these cards has an array of lines on them with circles next to it, and essentially you fill out a line with the task that you want to do. If it's something small, you can put it on the today card. If it's something you want to do later, the next card. And if it's something bigger or something you want to do like way down the road, it can go on a someday card. Then to indicate where you are on that task, there's a circle next to it that you can use. You can fill it in, fill it halfway in, put crisscrosses or lines or kind of whatever system you want. There is a card that Analog gives us that kind of suggests how to do it, but you're really free to make up your own system if you want to. Each of the cards also has like a grid pattern on the back for doodles or notes or whatever, which I thought was a cool touch. Not everything has to be tech or productivity related, and the next thing is definitely not in that category, and it's gonna be my Lego Porsche 911 Turbo. This thing is like 130 bucks, which is pretty wild to me. I just recently learned that you can buy adult Lego sets, which costs a lot of money. But I built this one and I put it on my shelf, mostly because I'm a big Porsche fan. It's what I want to own one day. There's a poster behind me of a GT3 RS in orange. I just think it's like the coolest picture ever. The cool thing about this kit is that everything actually functions. So the doors open and close, the trunk and the front also open and close, and the steering wheel actually turns the wheels, which was pretty cool. I didn't know you could do that. The other cool thing is you can actually take the top off of the Porsche and store it in the front, which was just like a really cool little addition that they didn't have to do, but it just makes it that much cooler. The Amaran T2C is the tube light you see behind me, and essentially it's a $200 full studio quality light that I just use as an accent light. This light can really do anything. It has full RGB WW, it has VFX, color temperatures, you can adjust the brightness, the saturation, the luminance, literally every configuration you could ever want, this light can do it, and you can control all of it through their Sidus Link app if you want to. The way this light's actually constructed is very different and unique. So essentially it's two parts. You have the bottom handle and the top light tube. You actually connect the two kind of by like twisting and interlocking them, and then you connect them like fully through this data cable. It's like a little dongle that connects from the light to the battery portion. I don't know why it was done this way. It feels weird because you pretty much just leave it connected all the time. So I don't know why it wouldn't just come as one piece, but this is how you gotta do it. There's also 1/4-20 mounting points all over this light. So if you ever wanna mount it, you could probably use it as a key light, as a hair light, accent light, really whatever you want. It gets extremely bright. What I have it on right now is like 3% brightness, so it can be very bright if you want it to. The Aperture MC is essentially a pocket-sized full metal version of the T2C. You can take it anywhere with you, but it also still has all the functionality, RGB WW, VFX, color temperature, saturation, all of those things included with it. This is mostly used for illuminating little accent pieces around sets or around your office, and I use it plugged in to constant power just like I do the T2C. So the MC is full metal construction. It has this nice little red ring around the front of it, which I just think gives it a little cool accent piece. And then the entire thing has magnets on the back, so you can mount it kind of wherever you want around your office, your studio, whatever you're doing, you have places to mount it. It also has 1/4-20 mounting points if you want to use those. This thing comes in at only 90 bucks, which in my opinion is actually a really good price for all of the feature set this thing provides. You don't get a ton of battery life out of it. I think it's like 2 hours at max brightness, and even that, I think that's like in best case scenario. I found it to be a lot less, so I use it plugged into constant power all the time. The MC is USB-C powered, but the funny part is there's actually Qi wireless charging in this apparently. I've never tested it, but it says it on their website, which I just thought was kind of a funny touch in case you ever wanna wireless charge your Aperture MC accent light. Grovemade also sent out a few things a few months back. Their headphone stand was a big one for me. It's made of walnut and this like black leather material, which I find like fits my theme around the office really well. But the thing that I like about the most is it just gets my headphones off of my boom arm where they've been stored since I've had them forever. The headphone stand also has this like notched top, so when you put your headphones on them, they're not gonna slide around, they're not gonna fall off the desk. And I just really like the headphone stand because I like to get my headphones up and out of the way, but I also really don't like the gamery LED style headphone stands, and I also don't like the undermount desk ones. So I think this is like the perfect balance. Still gets them out of the way, but looks really high quality and it looks nice on my desk. Their monitor stand, it was also sent out. This is the medium one, and if you've ever wondered if this is gonna be sturdy enough for your setup, I have a 34-inch ultra-wide curved monitor on this, and I've never felt like it's gonna fall or be too wobbly or anything like that. It's extremely sturdy, which is surprising because besides the nice walnut construction that it has, the actual supports of the stand are made from this like black cork material, which is not what I was expecting, but it seemed to be pretty sturdy. There's also a middle metal shelf on the Grovemade stand, which I use to just store away coasters, my analog by Ugmonk, extra keyboards, just kind of things that I want to get out of the way but still have accessible. I use the middle stand for that. The Samsung T7 is a 1000 megabytes read and write speed SSD that can literally fit in your pocket. Like everything else we've talked about, extremely high quality, has full metal construction, comes in 3 different colors. There's gray, there's red, and there's blue. But of course, I went with the minimal gray looking option just because I think it fits my style the best. The other thing is Samsung claims that this drive is drop resistant up to 2 meters, probably because of the full metal construction. And it also says that it'll never overheat. I'm guessing there's some sort of heat sink inside, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, my favorite part about this drive is just the fact that I can literally fit it in my pocket. I'm always traveling with this. And then they also included a USB-C cable that feels like whoever made this drive actually uses it. There's a couple drives I've reviewed on this channel before where they include USB-C cables that are literally like 4 inches long. And it's like, you can't use the drive without feeling like it's gonna break your port on your MacBook. So I really appreciate that it feels like whoever made this drive actually uses it. They included a usable length in the drive cable, and I can use it on the go without having to worry about it. But for premium tech, that is gonna be it for this video. If you ever see anything out in the wild that you're like, that's really expensive, I don't really need it, but I kinda want it, leave a comment down below. Maybe I'll put it in the next video. These are really fun to make just because this kind of tech is really interesting to me. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.